we are making fertilizers in the industry, right? This chapter is very, very important. Why? Because some confusing things might come up, right? You have to memorize. This chapter will be much more important that you try to memorize this part, right? So if you see, when we take plants, right? Plants need nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium for their growth, right? So NPK fertilizers, right? Nitrogen is mainly obtained from fertilizers from ammonia. We make fertilizers from ammonia, right? Phosphorus is needed. So that's the reason we use phosphoric acid, right? This potassium is not is used by potassium chloride, right? And potassium sulfate, right? These are the constituents of the NPK fertilizers, right? Now, to understand that, we now know that where is the nitrogen fertilizers coming from, right? We are now going to the source of the phosphorus fertilizers, right? Phosphorus are obtained from phosphate containing rock, right? This part, right? Now, phosphorus containing compounds, they cannot be directly used, right? This is very important. They cannot be directly used in the soluble. Why? Because they're insoluble in water, right? Thus, fertilizer should be soluble in water so that the plants can extract through water from the roots, right? Phosphorus compounds or phosphate, they are insoluble in water. So we have to convert the phosphate rock to soluble. What we do? We first do what? We take the first phosphate rock and we add nitric acid to it, right? Isn't it? When we take the phosphate rock, insoluble rock, we add nitric acid. It gives you phosphoric acid plus calcium nitrate. You can underline this, right? But see, phosphoric acid, which is obtained over here, right? This phosphoric acid, right? This phosphoric acid, it will be acid, right? It has to neutralize, right? Isn't it? So phosphoric acid, which is emitted, right? This is neutralized by adding ammonia, right? Isn't it? Understood this part? And we get ammonium phosphate, right? Isn't it? So calcium nitrate we are getting, and we are neutralizing the phosphoric acid, which is also a product. What we add? We add the phosphate rock plus nitric acid, HNO3. We get phosphoric acid and nitric, no, calcium nitrate. We neutralize the phosphoric acid by adding ammonia. We get ammonium phosphate. This is one process by making the phosphate rock soluble. The second process is the phosphate rock is taken, right? And we're adding sulfuric acid, H2SO4, right? Now underline this. This is called a single superphosphate. When we take phosphate rock and sulfuric acid, we get a single superphosphate, right? The single the product is what? The product is calcium phosphate and calcium sulfate. Understood? This is clear. We get calcium phosphate and calcium sulfate. This is called a single superphosphate. Next, the third part. We take the phosphate rock, we add phosphoric acid, H3PO4, right? When we add phosphoric acid, we get triple superphosphate. Underline this bit, right? You have to memorize this. Write on m to the power infinity, right? We get triple superphosphate. In the triple superphosphate, we are getting what? We are getting calcium phosphate over here, right? This is triple superphosphate, right? Now, the whole journey also requires potassium, right? For the plants, right? Potassium obtained from where? Potassium chloride and potassium sulfate, right? They're mined from the underground. So actually overall we are getting what? We are knowing that we can take the mined phosphate rock, which is insoluble. We can use sulfuric acid, right? We can use sulfuric acid. We're getting calcium phosphate and calcium sulfate. This is called a single superphosphate. We can also make it soluble, the phosphate rock soluble, by adding HNO3. When we add HNO3, it gives you two products. What are two products? Calcium nitrate and phosphoric acid. Phosphoric acid will be very harmful for the roots. So what we do? We take ammonia and we neutralize it. We get ammonium phosphate, a fertilizer, right? Clear? So this is very important, this chart. Finally, we'll be going over to this part in the next session, right? About the Haber's process, right? Haber's process and all. You can go over it, right? So that sums up all